what I know for sure is that speaking your truth is the most powerful tool we all have.
This is the beginning, it is not the finale, and that's why we're here, and that's why we rally.
I get angry when I think about it. No woman should sit down and allow a man to speak about her reproductive rights.
No country in the world can yet say that they have achieved gender equality.
The basic and fundamental human right of being able to participate in the choices for your future and that of your community.
And when I look at the zeitgeist today and I look at what is happening with women in terms of sexual assault, in terms of poverty, in terms of politically what's happened, I think to myself the change and the shift that needs to happen is finding the courage to own one's story.
The hand that rocks the cradle, the procreator, the mother of tomorrow, a woman shapes the destiny of civilization.
So I want all the girls watching here and now to know that a new day is on the horizon.
Welcome to the Best of Be Bold. This is our 7th International Women's Day celebration. I'm Nikki Smith, the co-founder and president of Be Bold Now.
I'm Kate Eisler, co-founder of Be Bold Now.
I'm Sharon Harris, board member of Be Bold Now.
And I'm Elizabeth Barney, the marketing manager of Be Bold Now.
We had hoped to be with you in person, however, it wasn't to be. Out of respect for you, our community and speakers and sponsors, we took the decision to postpone our in-person event until May the 11th, 2022, when we will host a hybrid event at the historic Town Hall in the heart of Seattle. And for those who can't join us in person, we'll also be streaming the show live. We'll share more details on where to get your tickets at the end of the show.
Back to today. Today is the 113th International Women's Day, a day to celebrate and shine a light on bold women changemakers doing amazing work to improve gender parity around the globe. We have selected a few clips from our favorite bold stories and moments from past events to share with you.
While there is much to celebrate, there is also still much to do. Progress has been reversed during and in part due to the pandemic. The gender gap has increased to 135 years. So we hope these stories of courage inspire you to take bold action for change. I love this story about Ivy Wolf Turk. Frankly, it's a story that could have happened to any one of us. Bullied by an abusive business partner, Ivy ended up in federal prison. This humbling experience led her to develop empathy and connection for other women prisoners who had led less privileged lives. She used her experience to set up Project Liberation to help female felons find their self-worth and create new pathways for women on leaving prison, preventing them from being reincarcerated. She is a remarkable catalyst for change. This is Ivy Wolf Turk.
On the outside, I looked like the epitome of success. As I opened the door, 21 FBI agents stormed my home at gunpoint and said, "Ivy Wolf Turk, you are under arrest." This day ended up in my being sentenced to 5 years in federal prison. And in prison, among all of these suffering women, I started to notice that we had a common denominator. It didn't matter if it was the abusive business partner or the baby daddy that was beating her or the drug-dealing boyfriend. We shared this lack of self-worth. Being like every woman that walked through those doors, I dreamed of that freedom day that I would come home. And so, I, being so much more fortunate than most, was greeted outside those steely gates by my 4 children, and I realized that a stint in federal prison shouldn't be the way a woman finds her worth. And so I knew that I had to take a life of experience and transmute it into a life of service. And Project Liberation was born to help them reclaim and rewrite their stories so they could learn to be who they are and do what they love I invite you to take a chance to be that change you wish to see in your life.
Lisa Shannon's story is about a woman who was a self-claimed ordinary TV watcher who became a world leader and a game changer. She started out with organising sponsored runs to raise awareness and funds for the terrible plight of women in the Congo. Despite being the most unlikely runner, she raised millions of dollars. Lisa became a fearless activist who stepped up for change to fight against domestic and sexual violence for Somali women. She then expanded her scope and in partnership with Dr. Eleanor Nwadinobi is the architect of the global Every Woman Treaty to end violence against women and girls, which the audience signed together at the 2019 Be Bold event. Please meet Lisa Shannon.
People talk about compassion fatigue, like empathy wears you down. I have actually found the opposite to be true. I have found empathy to operate more like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the more power it gives, the more reflexive it becomes. It was 2005, 8 years into the deadliest war since World War II, the worst sexual violence on the planet, and there was no movement for Congo in this country. So I decided to do a lone 30-mile trail run in Portland, Oregon, where I'm from, to raise sponsorships for women in the Congo. Then I started hearing from other women who wanted to do a run, so I decided, okay, let's take it on the road. Little did I know, what I didn't realize at the time is that creating Run for Congo Women for me was just a warm-up lap. So I decided to go. To launch the first sexual violence crisis center in Mogadishu with an amazing Somali woman activist. Things did change in Mogadishu. We started that center with 30 women pledging $10 a month. And within 6 months, we were on the cover of the New York Times. Hundreds of thousands of dollars flooded in. So I've gone quiet for the last 6 years because I've been quietly laying track to launch a public campaign for a global treaty on violence against women and girls. I have Dr. Eleanor Nwadinobi, women's rights activist extraordinaire. This, friends, is the people's call to nations, asking governments to create this global treaty. And we're asking you to sign it as part of the largest group Every Woman Treaty signing ever to take place on Earth.
I hereby urge nations to adopt the treaty, mandating that governments and citizens alike undertake the work required to end this pandemic of violence against women and girls.
Tonight, we're announcing the inaugural Bold Woman Awards to recognise the amazing contribution women and girls make to the world. We are asking you to nominate a woman in your life who is a change maker, a game changer, a fearless activist, driving change, who has taken extraordinary action during the pandemic and made a remarkable difference to women and girls, either in the US or internationally. It could even be you.
We ask you to submit nominations via our website, BeBoldNow.com, before the April 30th deadline. The finalists will be invited to our live Be Bold Now show on May 11th, where they will be presented with their award.
So nominate an amazing woman you know or yourself who deserves to be recognized for their outstanding work.
I love Donna Sarka's story. She's such a badass. She takes no BS and makes good trouble. She tells her story of how her side hustle as a fashion designer is creating economic power, helping women around the globe and here in Seattle earn a living wage to feed their families, unlike the often exploited women workers by the big fashion houses. She inspired us to get out of our comfort zone and, as she says, do the thing. Here's Donna.
There are at least 1 million fashion companies in the world. But how many do you know whose primary goal is to create economic power for 1 billion women all over the world? We are going to be a different kind of fashion house. Did you know that 80% of the garment industry is women? And do you know that 80% of those women are paid less than $1 an hour? Our tailors are paid Seattle wages no matter where in the world they live. Most of our tailors are mothers who support their family with their tailoring. This is Bolaji and her daughter, Esther. Bolaji was able to leave her abusive husband and move to the big city of Lagos. Esther's watching her mother go from being a struggling single mother entrepreneur to being a powerful businesswoman. Magic happens outside your comfort zone. If you want magic to happen, sometimes the most bold thing you can do is listen to yourself and do the thing.
Our final story is probably my favorite. It is a multi-layered story of 3 women, starting with Sheriff Mitzi Johankin, who shares her bold story and great sense of humor, being the first female deputy working the overnight shift in North Bend, Washington, and the first woman to run a SWAT team, and how she came out in a male-dominated police industry. She shares the stage with Deputy Jennifer Esham, who tells the story of how she became a mentor for a repeat offender and female felon, Candace. The women formed the most unlikely friendship based on respect and empathy. These women learned from one another, fought their misconceptions, and chose being bold and vulnerable, opening themselves up to risk and ultimately leading to success. The best surprise is at the end. Enjoy.
When I signed up to be a cop 34 years ago, I didn't see it as a bold move. It wasn't easy entering a male-dominated profession. I was the first female deputy to work the overnight patrol in North Bend. You had to be bold in your own way to stand in yourself and into who you were. Along the way, I learned a lot about leadership. It isn't about always taking credit. It's not. It's about encouraging others to be their best selves, to be bold, to take risks. A recent, bold, fearless risk was taken by one of our deputies. It's an incredible story, and I am so proud to introduce you to Deputy Jennifer Esham.
Listen, before I could do something bold and daring, like spend the last 3 years with my mentee, Candace, I had to accept something that's really, really scary for a cop, that I was vulnerable. But if I wasn't willing to be bold and to be vulnerable to all the risks, I would not have grown like I did, and Candace may not have succeeded like she did.
I was in prison at that time for robbery. I joined this program called the IF Project.
It's a nonprofit that helps women in this prison reintegrate into everyday life.
I never planned to actually enjoy my time with her.
That was before they met.
What I learned about Candace really quickly is that she's incredibly organized, she's very motivated.
Benefield walked out of prison in 2017 to find the officer waiting.
At 36, she learned to live in a world that the rest of us often take for granted. Ladies of the room, I'd like to introduce you to my very good friend, Candace Benefield. So here we are, 3 women at very different stages in our lives and in our careers, but each one of us has found success in our own way and on our own terms by being bold and taking risks.
International Women's Day matters, along with this event, Be Bold, because so often women do amazing things and doesn't see the light of day.
Being bold in the moment feels vulnerable, it feels exposed, you don't know if it matters, and you do it anyway.
You have the courage to step out of your comfort zone.
Standing in my power, using my voice, speaking up for myself, advocating for others.
I want to see women standing up and saying, yeah, we can do that too.
Take a bold step forward and go after those dreams.
Just because you know it's the right thing to do.
The last time I was bold was down at the state legislature just a week ago, advocating on behalf of issues that I care about.
One of my biggest moments of being bold was having my son.
Almost a year ago, I quit my job because I had gotten really involved in politics and really in passion and advocacy.
I believed that my passion would lead to a purpose, not just in my personal life, but in my business life.
Every single day, I am bold. I walk into that school and I meet those girls and they look me in the eye and they ask me the hardest questions that I think I get anywhere in my life.
My bold moment, I have never been a public speaker, but I'm here.
I just want to take a minute to feel the power in this room.
We brought you here to motivate and inspire you to take bold, urgent action for change.
Get involved,
be inspired, and be bold.
When women thrive, all of society benefits.
But I'm here to tell you that you have the power to overcome any barriers.
Bold is confidence, the ability to take risks, a fearless, daring spirit.
But she fights. In darkness she finds the light. And I am telling them now, we aren't going to change.
Stumble, fail, fake it, take it as far as you can, and dare disturb the universe.
And I think we all have a responsibility to help lift the women up in our community, and these types of events are a way for us to do that.
What I love about this event is that it brings together so many people who care about women's issues and so many people who care about girls and the ways in which we raise them up.
There's also a lot of tables here with women from different organizations.
I really hope that they will be inspired by all the talks.
To walk away understanding that should they choose to, they absolutely can be world leaders.
Bold yesterday, bold today, and bold tomorrow.
Remember that? We wanted to remind you what it was like when we could all come together, meet each other in person, and share the Be Bold experience. We can't wait to be with you all again. So come join us, either in person or live online on May 11th, 2022. We have more bold stories to share with you, as well as the Bold Woman Awards to celebrate. To purchase tickets, go to our website, BeBoldNow.com, which will take you to our Eventbrite page. Don't forget, nominate an amazing woman or women for the Bold Woman Awards before April 30th.
As a final treat, we wanted to share the amazing rendition of Rise Up by our friend and incredibly talented musician, Scarlett Park.
Hello, my name is Scarlett Park, and I just want to say thank you for joining this year's Be Bold International Women's Day event, virtual style. This song is called Rise Up by Andra Day. You're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we're gonna walk it out and move mountains. We're gonna walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up, rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. Yeah, I'll rise up, high like the waves. I'll rise up, spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, when the silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe, and I know you'll feel like dying, but I promise you we'll take the world to its feet and move mountains. I'll rise up, rise I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up, it's brighter to make. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. Yeah, I'll rise up, rise like a wave. I'll rise up, rise unafraid. I'll rise up for you.
Thank you for joining us on International Women's Day. We can't wait to see you at our show on the 11th of May, 2022.
And don't forget to follow us on social media.
Can't wait to see you in a few months.
Bye. See you then.